Okay. Hi, everyone. And I see that there are more people jumping on here as we get started. My name is Darcy Broadmerkle, and I'm the Director of Student Engagement here at Misericordia. And we are here to discuss with you and giving you the opportunity to discuss with our students any questions that you may have. Now, if there are any parents on this Zoom call, we would ask you to please get off. And the students wanted me to make sure that I said that to you because this is an opportunity for the new students to talk to the upper class students and find out what it's really like here at Misericordia. Now, as you know, there are many, many changes that are taking place, not only here in our little piece of the world at Misericordia, but throughout the whole state and the nation and the world. So we know that this is a difficult time for all, but we want to make your transition as smooth as it possibly can be. So at this point, I would like to introduce to you my wonderful panel of upper class students who are all orientation leaders or orientation coordinators. So I will have them introduce themselves to you and tell you a little bit about each of them. So go ahead, Tyler.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tyler Gurman. I'm a senior exercise science major at the school. And a little bit about me is I'm an athlete at the school. And I like to be involved, like really involved with the athletic program.
Hello, everyone. I'm Garrett Colvenbach. I'm a senior accounting major. I'm from Glen Spey, New York. I enjoy getting involved, but as Tyler does, and my free time I like to go fishing, and I also am on the golf team.
Hi, I'm Christina Riley. I'm a sophomore OT major. I'm from Ashland, Pennsylvania, and in my free time, I like to take pictures, and I do that around campus a lot too.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rihanna McPeak. I'm a junior healthcare management 3DPT major. I'm from Warrington, Pennsylvania. And when I'm at school, I love to hang out with my friends. And in my free time, I work.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm a junior medical and health humanities pre-DBT major. I'm from New Jersey. On campus, this is my second year serving as an orientation coordinator. I'm also an admissions ambassador, so I give tours to prospective students, a staff philanthropic ambassador, as well as the academic coordinator for the Student Government Association and the president of the Health Humanities Club.
Okay. So that is our wonderful panel. Now, at this particular time, I am going to ask you that if you have any questions at all that you want to ask these students, please put them into the Q&A box and we will answer them all. Please know that these students have not been prompted to say anything in particular. They will be absolutely honest with you. So please jump on now and ask your questions. Okay, people are always a little shy in the beginning. So let's, how about if I start this off? What's the social life like at Misericordia under normal circumstances, not with the COVID, but under normal circumstances?
Social life is great. You know, anywhere you go on campus, everybody's always super nice. They always say hi to you. Um, there's always activities to do. Student engagement always holds activities. They bring in comedians, people who sing. They do tunes at noon in the caf. Um, Weekends, you can always go to bingo. Bingo is very popular. They do Vera Bradley bingo. They did Under Armour bingo last year. I think there was a mountain bike you could win last year. Just a lot of stuff you can do so that you could always stay busy, and there's always opportunities to stay busy. So that's always super fun. You guys got anything else to build off of that?
A lot of students love going to sporting events, so I know me and my friends We try and get to all the games we can to support all of our friends, and that's something I love about the campus. And like in terms of making friends in the beginning, like it is scary to put yourself out there, but I would say just be who you are and put yourself out there, and everyone will accept you for it, and everyone will want to be friends with you, which is something that I really do love about this campus, is that everyone really is welcoming and does really care about each other.
And just to go off of what Caitlin said, like in the beginning, it's going to seem like you have like no friends or anything. And like you might think that like all these other people around you have so many friends, but like everybody's literally in the same exact boat that you are. So you just have to put yourself out there, and like it might be awkward, but like you're gonna have to just go up and sit with random people, like, or if you see any of us sitting at lunch, like you could just come up and sit with us. I mean, that might not happen this year, but like when it does happen, you could come sit with us.
It's true. Okay. Well, here we got our first question. So the question is, how big are the fridges? Do you know? Can you fit a Brita pitcher in it?
I don't know the answer to that.
You do not?
The fridges, they're mini fridges, and they also have a microwave on top of them. And I know that I had a Brita filter, and you're able to fit it in the fridge. So they're definitely big enough to fit a Brita. And there's plenty of room. They make the space very useful. There's like side things to put in like water bottles and stuff. So you'll definitely have enough room.
I had a Brita filter like Garrett, and my Brita pitcher fit perfectly in my fridge. And honestly, we had a ton of food in there because my roommate was an athlete, so she was always constantly grabbing stuff. So honestly, we had so much food in my fridge and the Brita filter, and everything fit perfectly.
Okay, how about if we, since we're waiting on some more questions, please, new students, feel free to ask anything. They will be honest with you. Remember, no one is monitoring this. No one cares what your questions are, so you can ask anything. But let's go back to something that you were talking about as far as athletes. Any of you that are athletes, do you find it difficult to balance your class time with your athletic schedule?
Personally, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, obviously you have to kind of stay on top of stuff, but for me at least, I found it that it was actually kind of easier because you were always on such a schedule that, you had to take days before to like plan everything out. And I found that it was actually a lot easier to stay on top of everything because you didn't have that downtime to procrastinate with anything. And then it was always like one thing onto the next, and it actually helped me stay on track more than anything else.
Okay. Anyone else on that? Okay. All right, Christina, someone has a question for you. You want to tell us what that question is?
Yes, so occupational therapy, my first year, I only had one class. They like recently like changed the curriculum, so we only had one class. It was only the spring semester, and it was just like basically to get our toes wet in like occupational therapy. It was like super easy. The professor was really fun and just like kind of introduced us to OT. So we didn't really have like much exposure to OT yet.
Anyone else, even though talk about your own specific major, do you have any courses in your first semester that pertain to your major, or was it mainly all course?
I know I could answer for Brie and I because we're in the PT program, but freshman year we just had chem and then organic chem the second semester, which is part of the requirement to get into PT school and everything. And I would say studying for those is very, very important. Like I know I kind of might have come in too confident in some of those classes, and studying for college is different than high school. So it's definitely an adjustment. I don't know how it would be from a business perspective or anything, but I know from a personal like health science perspective, that kind of was a big adjustment for me. But you learn how to balance everything, and you learn new ways to study, which your teachers are so helpful with that. Like I really struggled in chem, and my professor took 12 hours a week just to help me in it, which is unheard of.
Are all the professors that way here?
Yeah.
All professors have office hours that you can go to. It's either an hour or two a week. But honestly, every professor I've encountered is so flexible and so catering to students.
Okay, good. All right, we have a question here from Ryan. He wants to know if there are refillable water bottle fountains and are they going to be available around campus due to COVID-19 or not?
Well,
Where-
there are lots of them around. I don't know about the whole COVID issue.
They are available, yes.
Mhm.
Can you maybe tell us where some of them are? Christina, do you know where they are?
There's honestly just like a lot. There's some, I believe in Mercy. There's like water fountains too that you could always just fill them up. Some are colder than others, so like you'll learn like, oh, that one's not as cold. Like I know the one in Insulaco in the bottom like isn't as cold as like the one in Mercy. So you just kind of learn which ones are colder.
Yeah.
And there's one in Banks too, like right outside. So there's a few around campus.
And up at Anderson has them as well they are the filtered systems that you just stick your water bottle under there and it fills it right up for you. So,
The residence halls have them on the floors as well.
okay, good. Next question is, Brianna's going to answer it. Is storage a common issue in the resident halls?
So I lived in McHale freshman year, and I found that the storage was not a big issue because there are definitely ways that you can add on to the space that you already have. So as mentioned earlier, you already have like your mini fridge and your microwave, and then above that you actually have a shelf that you can, a lot of people put food on, and then you have your whole closet, and there's also like you can put things on the bottom of your closet, you can hang things in your closet, there's a shelf at the top of your closet, you have your drawers, you have like the little platform next to the sink, and you have your mirror, and then you also have space underneath your sink that you can put you can put other stuff, and then you have your whole desk, all of your drawers and shelves above your desk. So there is plenty of space. And then to add on to that, I actually brought three under the bed like storage bins. And I actually ended up keeping a lot of like, if I needed like paper plates, if I needed things that I didn't use all the time, but you still need at school, that's what I would kind of keep under there.
Great, thanks. What about an alumni? That you said you were in McHale. So what about alumni, Garrett?
Alumni, they actually, so McHale has like different furniture than alumni, but alumni, you're able to like put the beds up on they're like dressers. So that gives you like probably 3 feet of like storage space that you could use like Tupperware bins and stuff like that to store stuff. And you could also, there's also very big dressers that you could put stuff on top. And I never had a problem storing anything. But yeah, you'll figure out where you're going to put stuff. There's shelves on the desk, so you always have like room to put all your school stuff, school supplies, your computer, just anything you really need to store. You'll have enough room.
Anyone else on that? What about when you were talking about bunking your beds?
Yeah, you put them on the dressers. You just kind of set the bed on top, and then you're able to have your clothes, and you put it on top of like the shelf that comes with it. It's hard to explain without actually showing it, but you're able to like loft the beds up, and it gives you a lot of room.
Caitlin, was there something else that you wanted to add about that with the bunking?
There usually is, I don't know if it's on the modules yet, but there's a document that has different ways that you could loft the furniture in Alumni Hall. And it kind of just gives you instructions and like ways you can do it. I saw that when I was a freshman. I think that was sent in the mail to me, so I'm not sure how it's being distributed this year, but I'm sure you guys can get a handle on that.
Okay, Good. Going back to that, Ryan would like to know, is there room for a trunk or is that really not needed?
I've actually purchased a trunk, and I brought it on move-in day, and I didn't have room in my any space in my room. But it's really the way you set it up. How my room was set up, there really was not room for it, and I honestly didn't think it was needed. I had kind of what Bree had with like the under the bed storage, and that was definitely sufficient enough for me. But I guess it varies person to person.
Okay, someone would like to know why they cannot use risers under their beds.
The beds are fit, so the risers like the beds are really kind of like customized like size beds, where a typical like riser for a college resident hall wouldn't fit on the legs of that bed. So I know a lot of my friends purchased them just to try it out, but they didn't even work. And ResLife doesn't allow them as well. So just try and comply to ResLife standards.
Yeah, and that's primarily a safety issue that we do not allow the risers here. They can break, they can also move, and that would be hazardous to your health, your safety, if the bed got moved and you went flying down. So that's why we don't allow them. If they shift, there can be issues if people have been underneath and they could get hurt and things like that. So to be on the safe side, we do not allow them. Okay. How about, can anyone talk about online courses, how it was for you last semester?
I could talk about it a little bit. I actually take a lot of online classes for exercise science. We have to do a lot, and then I also had to do chemistry also. It's challenging at first because, you know, when you're in person, you kind of get that start relationship with the professor that when you're online, you don't necessarily get because you don't actually see them face to face. You just kind of go off of what their email is and things like that. So from that standpoint, it's like it's different. It makes it a little more challenging that way. But as far as the testing goes and stuff, I found it to be a little more, I don't want to say helpful, but like less stressful because you don't have to like walk into the test and like have all that kind of stuff. And actually I'm trying to think of what the word I'm trying to use for is, but I don't think overall, I don't think it's too bad. It's going to be different. I mean, for chemistry, I had to study a lot. And actually, I think my professor used a lot more, like explained a lot things more in detail than she would in person because she didn't always have like a board to draw off of. She was more speaking wise. So she explained things in a little bit more detail, which helped me. So I think that's really all I have.
Thanks, Tyler. Anybody else want to comment? Go ahead, Christine.
The professors were honestly so helpful. Like they were all so nice to us, and I think like they all know like we didn't sign up for an online class, so they honestly just feel bad. And like all of my professors were like constantly emailing me, well, like the whole class, like making sure that we were all okay, and like they were constantly like checking up on our health and stuff. Like the professors at Ms. were honestly really good during like the whole like online thing.
Yeah, they were really accommodating to everybody.
Our online classes done through Blackboard. Yeah, that's why we kind of wanted to move over into Blackboard instead of using Zoom and other ways to meet with your leader so that you guys can get used to that. And even if there weren't online classes, like all your classes are on Blackboard and your teachers post on there so you could like follow through. Your syllabus will be on there. You'll get your grades are all on Blackboard. So yeah, all online classes are on Blackboard, and that's also how you can meet with is through Blackboard Collaborate.
Someone also asked, how do I know what I'm supposed to do online for orientation each week? On your Blackboard course, DOS 100, which is your orientation summer course that you have to complete mandatory modules for, there's a calendar that has a list of everything that you need to be completing, and each week stay up to date on that. And when you go into the module, so week 1 had its own module, and it said the stuff that was required to do versus suggested that you should do. So there's a calendar, which is really helpful to use on that, as well as as well as just clicking into the modules and individually seeing what needs to get done.
Thanks, Caitlin. Okay, we have another question here. Are there certain calculators or other supplies that are recommended for freshmen to use?
Most of the professors will tell you like what calculators to get, but I've kind of noticed that the one that they always go back to is the like TI-84, and that's like I think $14 at Walmart or something, because they know how expensive calculators can be, and they try to show you how to use them. So I wouldn't say there's not a certain one, and they tell you what to do, what you need. I would say that books are very important, and your professors will also tell you like what books to get and other supplies you need.
I know a lot of times the math professors too, if they want you to have a certain calculator, they have like a certain amount that they're able to like give out to the students. So if you're not able to afford one, or they just like, I know my stat professor was kind of like, if you don't already have one, like I don't want you to go out and buy one. So he like made accommodations to like make sure that everyone did have a calculator.
I had a,
Oh,
you could
okay,
go.
yeah, I think we're gonna say something similar, because I was gonna say that it depends on what math you're taking like each year. I know that freshman year, a lot of people take calculus, and you're not allowed to use a graphing calculator in calculus. You have to use a standard one. But then I like this past year I took statistics, and I was allowed to use my graphing calculator in that class. So I wouldn't say like if you don't have a graphing calculator, go out and buy one. I would just say wait and see what the professors say first before going and getting any calculators.
Okay. Good. Here's another question. When are the alcohol and respect courses due? You guys probably don't know that answer, but I do. And that is that they are all supposed to be done prior to you coming to campus. So they've been live since June. And obviously with everything that we have been going through, there's been some, ample time for you to get on there and do them. I did happen to look the other day and see that I think it was something like 255 of you have already done that. So that's great. But for the rest of you, please get them done prior to coming back to school. Okay, as far as the alcohol segment of orientation for a student over 24, is that still a requirement? Well, let me answer that one as well for you. If you are 24 is considered a non-traditional age student, up till 23 is considered traditional age. And for any of our students that are over 24, yes, we know that you have been legal for a period of time now, but it is not just about the legal consequences that we feel are important, that you have some education on. And all of our students, whether it be that they're a transfer student or under 21 or over 21, we do have programs. There is an over 21 alcohol-wise program that is specifically designed for those students that will be over 21. I would say that if you are 24, the best I can offer you is to talk with Callie Rimfel, who is the Assistant Dean of Students, and she is the only one that will be able to decide whether or not you need to do that course. Okay. Next question. When are the move-in dates? Well, now we're getting into some of those questions that we had earlier with the parents, and also with the panel that consisted of the vice presidents and the president of the university. And what it is happening right now is that they are moving the drop-off dates to begin the first week in August. There is a informational letter that is going out on the 22nd, and all of that information is going to be given to the new students as well as our current students. And those move-in dates will be stated there. And just as we did with the students moving them out in the springtime, they'll have to sign up for a specific time and date to do that drop-in or drop off for everything for your room. And that will alleviate some of the issues with too many people together at one time. But, keeping in mind that all the first year students will be here by the 17th, and we will have orientation on the 18th and 19th, and then classes will start on the 20th. Okay. Caitlin, did you have something you wanted to add with that? I see you typed in on
Oh
that.
no, I was
No?
just getting rid of it
Okay.
for you.
All right, so the information will be coming from Res Life at the end of the week. Hope to have everything out at the end of the day on the 24th. That's this Friday. That is coming directly from AJ Noodle, who is the Director of Residence Life and is also one of the IT moderators on this webinar right now. So those are the facts. Okay. Also, AJ will probably jump in on this one too. When do students know which building they are in for move-in? So let's see how fast AJ can type as far as that goes. But I believe that in speaking with someone from Res Life earlier today with Dom, I know that he told me that they have been working on all of the room assignments and that should be done and will be forthcoming very soon. Okay. Same day, 24th, says AJ. So that's when you're going to know about that. All right. When do students know which building? Oh, Garrett's going to answer that.
That's the same day, the 24th.
Same day, 24th. Okay. And here we have a question from Jeff. What is the minimum AP score that Misericordia accepts? Caitlin, you signed up for that?
Misericordia accepts AP scores of 3 or above. It kind of changes for classes though, because I know personally some of my AP credits wouldn't be accepted just because it went with my major, but I know like my English class, I think I got a 3 on that test and my credits were accepted, so I didn't have to take an English freshman year, which is very nice. And you can talk to the registrar. They will know more of that. I'll drop their email in this chat just so you'll be able to see it easier, but that's who you would contact based on which credits would transfer. So that's definitely something you need to talk to the registrar about, but I know they do accept 3s and above.
My light went out. Oh, there it's back. See, if I'm not moving enough, that's what happens. Okay. What other questions do the new students have out there? Feel free. Anything? What are some key things that you have found for our current students on the panel here that are important to have when you move in?
Definitely a Brita filter. I'm someone who doesn't use a lot of plastic water bottles, so that was something that was really important to me to get. And I think that was definitely perfect, not having to go out and get water bottles every week or having people steal my water bottles when they came to visit me. So I definitely liked having my Brita.
I'd say another thing that's like super helpful to have is a fan. Just like a normal fan is like super nice because it does get hot sometimes and the AC isn't always turned on when it comes around the second semester. So sometimes it's hot in the dorms. And yeah, a fan's just really good. Well, I thought a fan was really good.
Anything else that you can think of? Brianna's really thinking,
I'm trying.
Nothing else? Okay. All right, next question. Is there a separate suggestion of supplies for commuter students, for example, to use in common areas?
For commuters, there's a Henry Student Lounge, and you guys get access to that. So Instead of driving home in between your classes, a lot of people will make food in there because there's a microwave and a little kitchen. This sounds kind of dumb, but maybe getting like some kind of Tupperware, because I know a lot of my friends are commuters and they'll bring like food from home and they'll just heat it up in there. So I would say that's kind of a big thing. All my commuter friends on campus always have lunch boxes with kind of Tupperware kind of things in there. So I would say that's a big one. Other than that, definitely have a laptop.
Okay. Anything else? All right, I have another question here. When will they be able to see their courses as far as their schedules?
So your schedules will be finalized end of July or early August, but you will be getting an email once they are completely finalized, because even the classes that may be on there are subject to change still. So your courses will be finalized either late July or early August, but you receive an email once they are finished, so you don't have to worry about going on every day and checking what your courses are, because the registrar will be sending an email to you once all of your courses are finalized.
I know that I did send a message to AJ, but the question is, are they only allowed to drop this stuff off on the early move-in days, or will they have time to set that up, set up their room? You know, even on orientation day, when we do the normal move-in, some people get a little bit more time than others before we start the official move-in, and so they don't have a lot of time to set up. They will have time that they are scheduled to do both the drop-off and setup. So the time that's going to be allocated for you will be that amount of time to bring your things in and get them set up. But then at the end of that time, you need to leave the area so that the next group can come in. Okay, thanks, AJ. All right. What other questions do we have out there? How about you guys? What do you think they need to know? Important things about being a student here.
Probably setting a schedule for yourself, because then you kind of work into the schedule and you always know like when you're going to do something. So I always thought like making a schedule and just following a routine was always very helpful.
I also found it really helpful to put my like whole schedule, like all my classes and everything in like, I use Google Calendar on my phone. So like every time before a class, like a half hour before, I get a notification. And like, it sounds so stupid, but every day is so different and you have different classes every day, and like, it's so easy to forget. So I feel like that's really helpful, because then like also when you join like clubs and stuff, they all have different days and times that they meet. So like just putting everything into one place is so helpful, so you don't forget to do anything.
I would say the biggest thing is knowing your resources, because Misericordia is a university that has so many different opportunities and resources to help students. They have the Student Success Center, which is a peer tutoring service. They also have the Writing Center, which is a peer revised writing workshop. They have the CAP Center, which is a counseling and psychological service, as well as all of the student life offices are so helpful. They have the residence life office, they have the student life office, they have student engagement, student government association, campus ministry, and those are all resources that are so unique to Misericordia, and you will have a constant support system if you surround yourself with the resources that you have on campus, and they're set up for you to be successful here. And I would say freshman year, I didn't take as much advantage of the things that I know about now. So I think that the biggest thing is know everyone's your ally here, know everyone has your back, and everyone wants you to succeed.
And get involved. Getting involved is super important. You meet a lot of people, you'll have a lot of fun. And then like Caitlin said, it also opens up more resources for you and more connections.
Yeah, like honestly, some of the things I joined, like they wouldn't be like my first choice, but my friends would be going. So I'd be like, oh, I'll go too. And then you just meet so many new people. And since it's such a small campus, like you see someone once and then you like say hi to them every time you see them on campus. So like it's just nice knowing so many different faces.
I think along those lines too is be really open-minded. You don't know what opportunities are going to come into your life or what people are going to come into your life. And the things that I'm involved in now, if you told me in high school I'd be doing, I would laugh at you and be like, it's not up my alley. But honestly, college just opens so many important and new opportunities and doors for you. And I think that coming in with a completely open mind, not comparing it to high school, not thinking I did this in high school, I can only be friends with this group of people, is not the right mindset to go in with. So I think go in with the good mindset that there's so many different things out there and this is your blank canvas, like create what you want with to the school. So I would say definitely be open-minded.
How about clubs? Do we have a lot of clubs on our campus?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of special interest groups and organizations. So each major kind of has a club that's like designated to it. And then literally anything you can think of on campus pretty much has a club. But if you ever want one added, you can start a petition, sign some signatures, and get a club started through SGA. So that's an awesome thing that Misericordia offers.
Brianna, were you going to say something too?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that, like, I know that you were saying that it's really important to get involved, and like Caitlin said, almost every major has its own club, and I just think that right off the bat, that's a really like great, easy way to start getting involved. And once you get involved with that, you will meet new people, and from there, like the doors will open, and you'll have so many more opportunities. So I just think, if at least if you're gonna do anything, start with your like the club for your major, and then see where it goes.
All right, good. And there are a lot of different clubs, and we will have some sort of club fair. Through FYE, all of first year students always had to attend the club fair just so you can see what there is to get involved in. But this year obviously may be a little bit different. We're working on that every day. Something else we try to accomplish to make this a good experience for everyone. So we are working on putting that together. I just got a question from Michael, and he wants to know if there is a current rule as far as masks come August 20th, with the knowledge that things may change, or is that not being set this far ahead of time? Well, I can say that absolutely, and that is more information that will be coming out on the 27th. But right now, currently, any of us that are on campus, and that would include Caitlin and Garrett, we have to wear our mask when we are in the office as long as we are 6 feet apart from each other. We don't necessarily have to have them on, and we do separate ourselves. And that is definitely going to be something that is going to be taking place on our campus. All students will have to wear some sort of mask to and from classes in any room that they are in, but they do not have to wear them when they are in their own personal space in their rooms. Okay, so just know that yes, we are going to do that, as we have heard from the CDC that masks is what are going to help make this current situation a lot better and eventually go away so that we can get on with our normal ways of living. So, okay, next question, is there a theater club or something along those lines?
There is a MU Players club on campus. They are the theater organization. They do both dramas and musicals. You can get involved in that as soon as you arrive on campus. I believe that Darcy, is Jeff Kelly in charge of that?
Someone is going to be in that, handling that. But at this particular time, no, it's not going to be Jeff.
Okay, well, whoever there'll be a contact for, and you can get involved in that pretty early on. And they're very active on campus.
Can you join M-SODA as a freshman? Christina?
Yes, you can. And they do a lot of stuff like specifically for the freshmen. And I'm pretty sure that's how it is with like the pre-DPT club. Don't you guys have a club?
Mhm.
You could join as a freshman though. So yeah, you can
And,
join.
and I will say that M-SODA is probably the largest club that we have on campus. And as the advisor for student government, I am with the student government executive board every week, meeting with them. And every week we get submissions from M-SODA about the service that they are doing. And as a result of that, I believe that it's probably been like 13, 15 years that M-SODA has won the Outstanding Service Club Award. They do a great job and they are very, very active, but they are a very large group. So as with any, PT probably runs a close second with that. So, you know, there are lots of different clubs to choose from and get involved in. And, you know, again, you get to meet more people and have some great experiences.
That's one thing about Misericordia, like they're all about like doing service. And for M-SODA, you have to do like a certain amount of hours each semester to like be considered part of the club. And I'm also in autism awareness. It's just like a club where you also have to submit like community service hours, but like you go around and they have like different activities for like the local kids who have like who are like artistic, like there's all different types of things, but basically like you're always doing community service.
Okay. Other questions out there? We'd love to hear from you. We've got a few more minutes. No? How about somebody, you guys have anything else that you want to, what about as far as when interacting with your parents once they come to campus? How much time do you spend talking with your parents? Some people, you know, want to know about that. Lots of times the parents are always worried they're
I
not
always
there
talk
for
to my
you enough.
mom.
Yeah,
I would like FaceTime her on the way to class and stuff, but that's just me. I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
I talk to my parents a lot too. Probably about probably call my mom about 3 times a week. My dad maybe 2 out of those 3 or 4 calls would be there, and then my grandparents on every Sunday. So I talk to them as much as possible.
Good for
I
you,
talk-
Tyler.
I talk to my dad like multiple times a day, and sometimes he's literally like, "Keelan, please stop calling me," because I'm very close with my dad, and Darcy can attest to that. I'm very close with my dad, so I call him all the time, and I definitely get homesick like being here all the time. But you have such a good like family here that you never have to like worry about like being that homesick, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, in the beginning, I think I probably call my parents like every night just to say goodnight. And like I actually probably didn't really talk to them that much during the day, maybe a text here or there. But after a while, like it did start to feel like home. And it actually got to the point where I started getting yelled at for not calling. So I mean, it just depends on like how you're feeling when you get here and how quickly you adjust.
Was it easy for you to adjust, Brian?
Yeah, I would say probably the first month was the hardest because it was, you're just still trying to find a balance between your daily routine, finding your friends, making time for your schoolwork, but also just trying to be involved with anything else that you can be. But then I found that after a little while, everything just kind of becomes normal. Like what doesn't seem normal just becomes everyday life. And before you know it, you're not even thinking about home. You're not thinking about things you used to do. You're just focusing on the here and now.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say try to stay busy and you don't really feel as homesick if you always have something else on your mind.
Okay. Anything else? Any last words that any of you want to say to this new class coming in?
Please do your Blackboard modules. Those are really important, have a ton of important information, and they're mandatory before you get here. So please get on there. There's a calendar that has everything lined up. You all have orientation leaders that you should be in contact with. So please make sure that you're asking them if you have any questions, emailing orientation@Misericordia if you have any questions. And please just do those modules. They are so important. And a ton of freshmen haven't even been on Blackboard for their DOS 100 course. So please, please, please do that.
Before we continue with that, someone had a question. Can they bring a bike?
Yeah.
And do we have places to keep them?
Yeah, there's bike racks outside. I think I know there's one outside Alum. I'm pretty sure they're outside McHale too. I honestly forget. But yeah, there's places to keep them.
Okay. The next question as we come down to the end of our time here, how many weeks of orientation is there?
It goes, the last module is right when you get to campus. So off the top of my head, I have no concept of time right now, but it'll go to when you get to campus. And then you have 2 days of like in-person orientation, which is the 18th and 19th of August. But your online modules, I'm not sure off the top of my head how many more weeks that is, but it does go up until you get to campus.
And we do track them to make sure that they are being done. And we will be in touch with you if you do not complete the modules as you are supposed to. Okay, now I'm not exactly sure what this question means, but I think maybe they're talking about their orientation leader. But yes, says Michael. Okay, how do I know who my person is, meaning their orientation leader?
Your orientation leader should have gotten in contact with you, whether it be on email. So I would say check your email, your Misericordia email. They should have gotten in contact with you. If they didn't, then there's definitely a problem there. Yeah, I would say just check your email.
Yeah, what I would recommend for you on that, Mike, is that what you can do is contact our office at orientation@misericordia.edu. Like Garrett said, you can go back and check your emails because the orientation leaders have been very good about getting in touch with all the new students. And they have been making phone calls, text messaging, emails, anything possible. And some people just have not been responding. I spoke to a young man the other day, and as soon as I mentioned the orientation leader's name, he says, "Oh, that's who that person is. I just thought it was, someone," and he didn't even have an explanation for it. He just ignored their attempt at trying to get in touch. So if you don't know who that person is, like I said, contact us at orientation. And we would be happy to tell you who your, oh, never mind, Michael. I see that you are a transfer student. So that's going to be a little bit different, but we do have someone assigned, 2 people. One of them is one of our regular orientation leaders, and then another transfer student that is working specifically with the transfer students on all of this. So she will be reaching out to you, but still feel free to contact. What you can do is contact Christine Marks in the admissions department. She's handling the transfers, and she'll be able to tell you who that person is, and they will get in touch with you. Okay, but that wasn't confusing at all, Michael. I'm sorry that you're going through that. We just want to make sure that we are meeting all of your needs at this time. Okay. Any other questions? We got a couple more minutes. If anybody has anything else. One last time for you guys, anything that you want to say about Misericordia, your experience, maybe the differences, the changes, what it's been like and what it's like now and what you hope it to be again?
I always just kind of say Misericordia is kind of just one big family. Like everyone wants to kind of know each other and everyone will say hi to you even if they don't really know you. And as far as like going forward, I just hope Misericordia continues to have those same like values and kind of like sense of community, which is something that got me to the school and something that I've loved ever since.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off her, I definitely like feel at home and like that everybody's a family. There was actually like one point, I think it was last year, I came home for something. I actually said to my mom like about like I had used the words like going home, meaning going back to school, which is something I wasn't quite sure that I ever thought I'd say, like talking about school. And as far as what I think it to be or hope it to be, I hope at least sooner rather than later get back to the way everything used to be. It's just got to come with time and we have to get through it, but we will.
Thanks, Tyler.
I
My
was-
biggest advice, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
My biggest advice is just everything's going to be okay. Literally everybody's in the same boat as you. So like, don't be nervous. Talk to those around you because they're just as nervous as you are.
Yeah, like this definitely might be like an odd situation for all of you guys coming in, but I do have to agree with what Caitlin and Tyler said about how Misericordia really does become home. And ever since freshman year, I knew that I love this place, and 2 years later, I still feel the same exact way, and I hope that all of you guys do too.
Thanks, Ray. Gary?
I don't know. They kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I agree with all of them. It's, you know, it feels like a family here. Like I said before, anywhere you go, everyone will always say hi. Everyone's always smiling. And it's just a really nice environment. And I love it.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all their pictures, and those of you that can see Garrett's face, it looks like he's got a halo over the top of his head with that light.
Yeah.
Please know that it's really not a halo by any means. No, but anyway, I want to thank you all for participating tonight as far as the orientation leaders and coordinators go. Could not do this without you. So I thank you for those students that logged on tonight. Thanks for attending. Know that this is also being recorded so that you can go back and watch it again or tell your families or anybody else that wants to watch it, they can do that. And we have another one that will be coming up on Sunday night also, that if you're interested in that, we'll have some different participants. But just know that we here at Misericordia are doing everything possible to make this a wonderful experience for you in these very difficult times. We are going to ask that, you know, what you need to do is wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. The more that we all do this together, the chances are so much greater that we can get back to what we consider a normal, great life on Misericordia campus. So with that, I thank you all for coming, and I say, just remember, MU Cougar strong. So have a great night. Don't forget to do all of your modules, and we will see you all soon. Watch for that mail coming out on the 27th. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.